Welcome to Investors Insights. Our topic today is As the Market World Turns. We chose this topic because the world has got a lot going on in ways that maybe our clients and viewers don't fully keep up with. So on that note, Bobby, one thing that's going to be mainstream media this week will be NAFTA. And so talk about that. You gave a great presentation in our meeting.
Yeah, so this Thursday, Speaker Ryan has set the deadline for NAFTA talks. And so Congress says they need it to be approved by Thursday. Obviously, Congress doesn't want to interrupt their summer vacation. So they've set Thursday a hard deadline. Okay. All year long, trade has been the primary suspect for the volatility in the market.
Right.
And this week should be no different. So Thursday is a big day in the market. Mexican, U.S., and Canadian trade officials were speaking all throughout last week.
Right.
They worked through the weekend. As of Friday afternoon, there were some big differences still. And so we'll see what happens on Thursday, but that could be the market mover this week.
Oh, absolutely. It could cause quite a bit of emotion in the market. And on that, though, Ashley, you countered, which I thought was great, another term that our clients need to be aware of, because it's one thing to talk about NAFTA and tariffs.
Correct.
You used the word quota.
Correct.
As we talked about. Talk a little bit about that as well, and the impact of quotas and tariffs.
Right. You have to watch that along with the trade. You'll hear a lot about tariffs, and that's like a cross-border tax. If Trey is an international manufacturer selling to me, he can send as much to me as he wants to. It's just going to be taxed to the border. A quota is a hard limit. So if he's selling to me and has a quota in his company or his country, it's like a game warden. With you get to a certain point, you have to stop.
Shut it down.
So what you have to watch is, in addition to these tariffs, the Trump administration has gone after a lot of economies. South Korea is one, where they're accepting more hard quotas. The good news with that is that can restore, in the short term, some manufacturing in the U.S. pretty quickly. The problematic part of it long term is it could be a little bit more disruptive on supply chain if I can't get any more product from Trey and I can still sell.
Yeah, no matter the
so
price.
That's a problem. It doesn't matter the price if I can still sell it.
Right, and that's a big debate. Will these tariffs, will these quotas work? What's the impact? Exactly. Short term as well as long term. Right. And that discussion is going to continue to go. Another thing is that we're the theme, I should say, as the market world turns, is the theme of globalization versus protectionism. Here in the United States, we've seen more of this on the protectionism side. That theme is starting to show up in other areas from an international standpoint. Trey, you talk about that.
Yeah, it's a continued fight against the entrenched powers that be. And that kind of seemed to have gotten quiet for a few months now, where everyone's focused on the U.S., but the global world is still fighting against the established powers. And in two small areas over the weekend, in Italy, the Five-Star movement and the anti-European far-right movement are looking to form a coalition so that they can put their person as Prime Minister of Italy. Why that's interesting is because both parties ran on getting out of the EU.
Wow.
So if they start getting into power, you start here, Italy, the third largest economy in the European Union, arguing to get out. We remember how Brexit was.
Right.
That was very disruptive. Not after the fact, leading up to it, the talk was very disruptive.
Sure. What's the rippling effect of that decision?
Those kind of things start to rumble, and these people like to be on the front page, and so they're going to talk a big talk. The second one is in Iraq, and it's not to do with the oil or the Iran deal. Over the weekend, they had elections, and what was interesting is who gained power, and it is against the more U.S.-friendly Prime Minister. He lost power, and support went to a coalition of communists and a very populist anti-U.S. cleric. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce the name, but it's just interesting to see after a victory over ISIS in that country that they are still fighting. The power seems to be shifting to these populist, anti-establishment groups.
Right.
You never want to see communists gaining power.
Sure, and that will impact the international markets.
That's for sure.
The decisions that are being made. So from an international emerging markets across the board there, everybody's keeping a close watch, not only in terms of those economies, but also how to invest in those strategies. So on that note, we thank you for taking time to watch us from your home, your office, that local coffee shop with that laptop. And we appreciate you passing this on to others, sharing it as well as your emails and phone calls. We hope you have a great week, and we'll look forward to keeping you updated because it's not dull.